I don't have anything. Oh, I'm supposed to sit right here.
Don't move a centimeter. No, you're fine.
So we are going to do a drawing today, so if we can put one in. I was going to go get a milk money card for you guys. I think there's at least $10 on this still from when I go there. So I hope that's the truth. But we'll draw for this.
Put your card in here if you would like to be in the drawing.
All right, so we are going to talk about the sales process, but first you need to know a little bit about my background so you can understand why this is important to me. I was in the I joined the Army in 2001, spent some time in the military, moved back here, was getting ready to be a mechanic at Southeast Community College in Milford, and as I was waiting for the guy to show up to take me to the mechanics area, I saw a survey. Well, my grandfather was a county surveyor from where I was, so I asked him about it, and voila, I joined up and became a land surveyor. I spent about 6 years as a land surveyor, and in that I became licensed as a surveyor in training, which means you take a packet, you put it before a board, the board says you're good to go, you can go take this 8-hour math test. So I passed this 8-hour math test, I'm a surveyor in training now, and I spent another 3 years working for a licensed surveyor. And this licensed surveyor, what he's going to do is you're going to put together another packet, and you're going to put it before this board. And this board, I'm thinking, I've never actually seen these guys, but they must sit on this really tall desk area and look down and say no, because that's what happened to me twice. And a friend of mine had been pestering me to get into real estate, and after being turned down twice from even getting to take the test to see if I'm worthy to get licensed, I figured that's a sign. We need to move somewhere else. So November of 2014, I finally got licensed, sold my first house in February of 2015, and this year in June, I crossed the 50 mark. I'd sold 50 houses. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really happy with that progress and where I'm at, that progress and where I'm at, and that's what leads me into today. This year, for 2018, I want to sell 50 houses in a year, right? And I've been here, I've been coming here. I've had Tracy come get me organized. We've had Stacy had a great thing about systems and models and doing that. If you guys didn't get to listen to that, make sure you take some time. I really got my juices running again to get in models and get systems running so that I can be effective and get to 50 closings this year. And so how do you do that? One of my first mentors in real estate told me, you are in the lead generation business who happen to sell real estate. Your number one thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go out and find leads and close deals. It doesn't matter how great you show a house, it doesn't matter how many friends you have, and none of it matters. If you can't get those people to want to work with you, to want to do one of the biggest investments with you, none of it matters. You can be the best looking person in the world. You know what? If you can't close deals, you can't lead generate, none of it matters. Well, I don't have a big sphere of influence. I didn't have a lot of people to network to. So I started with the for sale by owners. Why the for sale by owners? Because I know they want to sell houses. So that brings us to this. It's important that every day in sales that you're tracking what your business is going through, right? And you got to lead generate. One little tidbit for you, maybe that you don't like to do sales because you don't want to get turned down. Every no is just a yes in disguise. For every no you get, somebody else is going to come along and they're going to buy from you. And you can't get to that yes until you get through your no's. But you have to know how many no's you need to get to that yes. And that's what this does for us. This tracks that, right? I need to read so many pages in a week of anything. I don't care what it is, but you need to be reading, improving yourself, improving myself. So that's why I've got that in there. I want to try and read 100 pages a day, a week. I want to do some gratitude. I'm thankful for this house. I'm thankful for what I've got going on. I'm thankful for Center Sphere because it's great work. All those kinds of things, right? What I'm grateful for to get me in a good spirit, because you got to have love in your life to be a good salesperson. Right? Now we get down to where the nitty-gritty is, dials. How many people am I calling in a week? Right? I need to call people. I need to stay in touch. Those stack of business cards I've got laying on my counter, and I'm guessing you do too. You probably need to call those people and stay in touch with them. And that's what sales is about. Contacts, right? I need to hit 400, now I'm gonna switch over here, the big one, right, where it says contacts. It says 465 contacts a month. It's how many people I need to have a two-way conversation with. Hi, my name is Cody, do you want to buy or sell a house? No. All right, that's one contact, off to the next one, right? So that's how those contacts work. Or being here, talking to everybody here, talking about what I do, my business in real estate, buying and selling. I get to mark those off back on my weekly sheet, so that I know how many contacts I'm getting. What does this do for me? All right, so if I'm hitting my so that's this sheet, right? And I want to do some emails, I want to do some text, I want to do some direct messaging, I want to do some direct mailing. And this sheet helps me track that through the week so that I know where I'm sitting in my sales process. I come over to this sheet, and if I'm hitting my 465 two-way conversations a week or a month, then I should be getting those number of appointments, because contacts equal appointments. We're not going to close on all our appointments, right? Unless you're a rock star like Bob. But the rest of us, maybe we're not going to get that done. All right? So I need so many appointments to get so many listings and so many buyers. It's probably the same thing for whatever business you adventure you're in. You got to get those appointments. You got to get in front of those people. To get in front of those people, we got to have contacts, right? So we have our contacts, we have our appointments, then we have our closed business, right? How many listings, buyers, and sellers? So I want 5 in the month of January. I should get 4 listing appointments or 6 listing appointments and 3 buyers. I've been tracking this number, so I kind of know what my statistics are, what my percentages are from appointments to closed business. So to get for the month of January, I should have 4 sellers and 2 buyers if I'm gonna hit my 50 mark. All right, so that's gonna equate to 1 closing buyer and 1 selling buyer, or 1 selling closing a month of January, and that should give me a gross closed income of $11,000 for the month of January. So what does that all mean, right? Like, boy, I just spit out, just puke, vomited all of that information to you. So if you do a good job of tracking your contacts, if you do a good job of tracking your appointments, you do a good job of tracking how many of those appointments you're closing, and then you get to your closing. Along that whole spectrum, you're able to track where you're failing at, right? If I have 1,000 contacts and only 1 appointment, my sales pitch is terrible to even get in the door. So I need to work on that piece, right? I'm not doing a good job of pitching myself well enough. My elevator pitch needs work. It needs to be worked on. It needs to have some improvement done to it. So of those 1,000, maybe I can get to 5 or 6 or 10 appointments, right? All right, I've got 1,000 appointments, but I'm only getting 1 closing. Still, here's where my issues are. I'm not closing when I get in front of them. I'm doing a great job of getting in front of people. I'm doing a great job of selling myself, selling my product to get that appointment. But guess what? When I get in front of these people, something is happening and I'm not closing the deal. So now I'm able to hone in on that. I'm find some coaching. Maybe my systems is messed up and I need to figure out what's going on in there so that I have a good packet to turn into people that says, these are my products, this is what I do, this is what makes me different, this is why I'm the greatest, blah, blah, blah. That helps in that process. And that's all from tracking our numbers, because numbers tell the story. Now, the best part, boy, I'm doing all this work, but my closing numbers, my cash at the end of the day still is terrible. I'm getting a lot of appointments, I'm closing a lot of deals, but at the end of the day, I'm just not making as much as I need to. Well, you can say, all right, now I need to raise how much I'm charging my customers, because I'm not making the money I need to. But guess what? My contacts are high, my appointments are great, and I'm closing a lot of business. That works. I can raise my rates because I know that I've done a good job of contacting people, done a great job of marketing to people, I've done a great job of closing on the appointments. I know that if I lose a couple because my rates went up, that's okay, because I'm still making the money I want to make each month. And that's how I'm going to be able to track 2018 better than I have done for 2017, is I've got a system in place. I've been trying to come up with something of this nature for quite some time, right? Because you can see the one I've got here for January has all these little boxes here. Well, you don't know me. I mean, by the end of the day, it's like this. It's just smashed up. I'll stick it in here. I'll stick it in my back pocket. I'll throw it somewhere. It was a disaster. So I came up with a better idea with this little box. And through the little box, it fits right in my planner. and I can carry it with me. So when I'm going places, I'll leave here, I'll say, oh, there's probably 15 people there that I talk to. I can mark those 15 contacts off. And that gives me an easier way to hold on to what I'm doing, because it's important to me to figure out where I'm failing at and what I'm not doing good in, so that I can increase that area and essentially close more deals. How does that help? If every yes is a no in disguise, I need to know how many no's I have to get to that yes. It makes that rejection, because that's what it is, you're being rejected. I don't want your product, it sucks, right? And that's okay, because I know that you say my product sucks, I don't want to work with you, that's fine, great. Check off a no. I need 15 no's to get to my yes. Guess what? I listen to you, you have a bad attitude, you keep your bad attitude, maybe you think my product does suck. But I don't care. I don't care, because you're gone. Now instead of 15 no's, I need 14 no's, because I've been doing a good job of tracking those numbers, and with that, a better job of my sales process, and makes those no's much easier to handle, because I hate being rejected. And I talk to probably one of the toughest markets out there, and that's rotten for sale by owners. I'm joking, I love you guys. So, that's my spiel. I know it didn't take very long, but I hope you got a lot out of it, and I'd like to take some time and ask some questions.
Cody, I mean, obviously you track, which is terrific. I'm assuming there are electronic systems you could use too, maybe are even built for realtors, or do you do any electronic tracking?
That is an awesome question, and I just signed up with a company to do it online. So yes, there are, and I'm looking into being able to do that online and see how it works. And I hope it works really well. But yeah, there are some online types of ways you can do that if you're not a paper person. Probably just whatever your field you're in, Google it, and I bet that would help. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you planning on tracking the characteristics of each person that's saying yes, so that you can always figure on that?
Absolutely not. That's a great idea. Oh, wow, no. Jeez, no. But that's if you're that great, yes, you should do that, because that would really tell, my personality type, and I can then know that I'm gonna have better luck with this personality type as opposed to this, like disc, right? If I know what my disc personality is, and this person's a C and I'm a D, I don't think we don't jive very well.
Are you looking at aspects in regards to what type of house they have? Are they a family with children, or their age group? Are you tracking that as well, just so that you can actually start seeing the trends that happen?
All right. I'll take that into consideration.
That's why she's our entrepreneur resident right there.
Thank you.
She's awesome at what the word does.
She is. What's the 200 boxes down here?
So, like I said, what I used to do was try and mark just on this sheet, so everything was together, and I just tried to mark on it, and I just never gotten rid of it.
So you don't use this?
I don't use it, no, because I used to use my contacts, right, when I try and scribble my contacts in there. But if that's a month-long form, I should get more than 200 if I'm trying to hit 50 or 500 or 50 closings, and that just gets crumpled up. Like, it's a disaster for me personally. I'm sure it worked really well for a lot of people in this world, not me.
Have you put an economic value on each activity and what it generates?
I know I haven't. Like my for sale by owners, and I haven't read this book, but I probably need to pick it up. The 80-20 principle, and I'd like to see better, like how I'm doing it. Like, am I spending too much time with for sale by owners, and I should be working on expired? Am I spending too much time with for sale by owners that expires, and should I just do more networking? Like I know I haven't, and I should.
Well, I was in insurance for 30 years, and one of the things I hated doing was making phone calls. That was one of my things I just hated. But I broke it down and figured out how much per hour I made making phone calls. And I put that on my desk, and it was pretty easy to stay motivated knowing I was making X amount of dollars per hour just making these phone calls. So,
especially if you're money driven, that would really help. Yeah.
So.
Can I, so many of us say, I hate doing this marketing, and I hate doing the phone calls and that stuff. May I suggest to you that you turn it around? Because, every phone call is, you never know what you're gonna get. And so it's sort of a mystery. And it could be high-low, come on, a little perfect timing and that kind of stuff. But if you program yourself to love it or like it, it shows, and it's much easier to tolerate.
or building on that, take a different approach, which I had to do personally, because I'm not a salesperson. I despise car salesmen and the like. So I was like, okay, I can't do that, because when I try, it comes off very ingenuine. So like, okay, what if I focus more on just trying to connect with people, talking about what I'm trying to do, kind of our mission and our vision, and then the sales actually comes as just a byproduct.
Yeah.
And that allows me to find a way to accomplish the same end goal, but in a way that's more comfortable and organic
Yeah.
for me.
You wanna find solutions for people, and if I don't want chocolate ice cream right now, I'm gonna say no, but 6 o'clock tonight, I'm more open to it.
That's the business.
I wanted to go back to the very basics. You're trying to make almost 500 contacts every month,
Yeah.
whether it ends up in a two-way or not. Where are you getting them? Are you getting them from this group? Are you repeating?
That's
Like, say I was one of your contacts this month, are you gonna call me again next month? Or are you gonna
Yes,
put me
a lot
down
of
and
times
call
I
me?
do. I've got a pretty good, so a lot of people would say, boy, you're calling me every month, that is a lot. I really don't talk to people about real estate when I call them. I rarely have a conversation about real estate. If you've ever heard of Ford, it's something to look into, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Use those, I use those conversation pieces to have that. And I may end a conversation, like I call for sale by owners probably weekly. I haven't called them for like 3 weeks now. I'm like itching. I had to call like 12 yesterday just to like calm down, because I know that if I'm not doing those activities of staying in front of people, I'm just not gonna make it in this business.
So how do you contact a for sale by owner? And having worked tangentially in the lending side of money for people to buy houses, how often do you contact the for sale by owner? Say I'm listing a house for sale by owner by me, and I suddenly discovered that, wow, I have to advertise, and I have to make appointments, and I have to get an attorney on board. And so are you contacting them like?
Weekly.
Weekly?
I call them usually once during the week. I try and call for sale by owners. Yeah, because there's 9,000 agents in town, plus or minus 5. I want to be in touch with those people as much as I can, especially my sphere. There's a book called Ninja Selling, which I think anybody could pick up and do really well with. And you got to be in flow with people. If you're not in flow, like you do a really good job of staying in flow with people through your networking. My flow is for sale by owners, expired, networking, past clients. I do a first-time home buyer seminar, getting in flow with people. And essentially that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create that flow with that for sale by owner, with the networking groups I'm in, with the different areas I market. So it's all about flow. It all boils down to flow with the people you're working with.
Cody, what have you done? I'm sure that you are a lot better salesperson right now than you were when you first started. What have you done consciously to improve your sales skills?
I picked up the book Ninja Selling, which has helped a lot. Also, I've gotten a lot better job of meeting with past clients and sphere of influence and people that like me already, and doing a better job of working the forward, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, and working that area a lot better.
Do you have a mentor that kind of coaches you, or have you gone to any specific trainings or
So
schools?
I took Bold, which is the Keller Williams version, but that's really intense. I mean, that's it. When you guys think of the car salesman, that's what Bold is. Like, they teach you call until they die, and I do. So, but there is a piece that the networking works really well, and but that book Ninja Selling has really been a big piece of making me a better salesperson. And it teaches a lot about mindset. I struggle with a lot with mindset, and that somebody would want to hear from me. I'm just Cody, but people want to hear from you. And if you stick to the 4, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, you stick to those conversations, people want to have communication. I mean, statistics show it. People want to talk. We believe in Facebook and social media, but people love to have conversation. If you can learn your forward and get really good at it, you can have conversation with a lot of people, and usually your job is going to come up. I think that's probably what I've done a really good job of, is working forward and waiting for my chance to jump on my business in my area and not be salesy about it.
Dale Carnegie has something similar. He always recommends getting people to talk about themselves. That's their favorite subject.
Yeah.
So get them talking about, and by asking about family and
Yeah.
occupation, I like that forward.
So you have a lot of contacts and you're generating contacts all the time. How are you organizing
So I have
those
I
contacts
call,
and
it's
the
called-
follow-up?
Yeah, and I'm really struggling in that area.
Yeah.
I've got Lion Desk, which is a CRM that does a pretty good job of it. That does, I like that piece. It's like $25 a month. That helps because then I've got a system that I can put together. Like I'm putting together a 35 touch program for every client I have. And don't worry, I'm not gonna call you 3 times a month. Fun emails, pop buys, text, Facebook message, and a call every once in a while. And sorting those out. And don't forget, we've got like 50 holidays. It's so easy to send somebody a holiday card. Happy Memorial Day, I'm a realtor. Never too busy for your freaking referral. Email that to them. You've made a touch. It's an easy touch. It's a holiday touch.
language?
It is.
It's Cody
Actually, that's
Walsh.
Buffini,
Yeah.
but that's Buffini. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's I use Line Desk to help manage those touches.
Does that help you then with your, follow-up question? Does that help you then with your follow-up? Does it kind of tell you
What to
when,
say?
yeah, know when you need to follow up?
Yes, yeah, because I have
That's a hard.
yeah. So the
piece.
Line Desk, the program I'm putting together
Uh-huh.
for 2018 does that. So it'll tell me, hey, you need to call Amy and talk to her about X. This is this month, right? Or hey, you just did a pop by 2 weeks ago. Remember? No, you don't. But you did this. Call her and ask her if she liked the lottery card you sent her.
Yeah.
Did she win any money? And what's she doing with all that money? Because that's recreation and dreams.
You know, I'm not trying to compete with your Lions Desk, but, and I've never heard of it, and I'm gonna check it out. But I have looked at, somebody told me about Biz Runner, BIZRUNNER, and it's on your phone and on your desktop and that.
Yeah.
And it will remind, if you're supposed to do a call on the 25th, it will hang on your phone until you check it off, and that's,
Wow, that's
you
really
do
nice.
notes and that's, and it's about $19 a month.
That's really good. The best CRM in town, write this down. The best CRM you can get is the one you're gonna use.
I've done some research recently on that. Our company didn't have one, and I've used Salesforce. Salesforce is great, but it's very expensive. HubSpot is the best one that's recommended that you can use free. The free version has limited, but it has those reminders, has those things. It'll pop up in email. It'll pop up on your thing all the time. Very easy to set up, and you can put all your contacts in it. You can work with chimp mail on it. You can do
Integrated with your Gmail.
Yeah.
That's what I love. You
Yeah.
can have templates and
So-
you can keep track of all your correspondence.
you know, and it's free so far, and I've imported 1,300 clients into it, and there's been no cost. I mean, you can go to the cost version and so forth, but so far it's been really good for an inexpensive one.
Best price.
So,
Yeah, free. And now's a good time to work through that stuff. If you guys don't have a CRM, you've gotten a few here. Go online, Google, figure that out. So when 2018 hits, I'm sure you guys are gonna start slowing down because of the holidays, maybe. So it's a good time to sit down and go, all right, here are some different CRMs. What do I need my CRM to do? What do I need from the CRM that is gonna affect my business positively? And go with it, and don't look back, because you're gonna come to another meeting, and I'm gonna say Lion Desk, or use BombBomb, or use this, right? And you're gonna fall for it, and you're gonna go and you're gonna waste time trying to implement a new system, because I was a great salesperson and I sold you on it. Stick to the one you got, shut your blinders off, and run with it. Put your blinders on, don't shut them off, put them on, and run with it.
On the contacts that you make, do you qualify? So, for instance, like when you're at a networking event, it's really easy to gravitate towards people that you know very, very well.
Right.
Do you consider them part of that contact?
Yes,
check,
yes I do.
Even though,
Yeah, because I'm staying in flow with them, right?
Okay.
And a lot of that, you get to figure out yourself. You get to figure that out, because you can look at your sheet, if you're following this here, and you can say, well, I made 5,000 contacts this week. I did great. I was at 1 million cups. I went to a Garth Brooks concert. I did all this. I got all these contacts. I'm having a great week. You get to the end of the month, you don't have any cash.
Mhm.
And you say, well, I had all these contacts. Well, I guess some of these weren't as good as I thought they were. Maybe I shouldn't have put the Garth Brooks concert as part of my contacts. And now you can start to reevaluate where your contacts are coming from, and are they, what you're saying, what were you, what was the question?
More social based.
Yes, more,
Qualify.
you can qualify. Thank you, whoever said in the back, thank you. You can qualify your contacts better, to better tell where you're at in your month. And then you can get to your nose quicker too. Get through them faster.
I just have a couple comments. I mean, when I say I want to bring like structure to businesses, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Tracking, because, you know, information is power. You can, you know, start to look at things and go, I'm not getting what I want, what do I need to tweak? And this is beautiful. It also helps with like work-life balance, because you can say, okay, here's what I'm doing every month, but, you know, I'm really unhappy. What do I need to tweak? Do I need to raise my prices? And you can't make those decisions when you don't know what you're doing.
No, because it's emotional at that point, right? You haven't taken the time to track your numbers, so it can become a business decision instead of an emotional decision, which I think we all struggle with, right? Like I get down on myself because I'm not getting as many sales, or I'm not doing well. Well, I'm not writing numbers down. If I'm writing numbers down, I can say, all right, I'm not doing good in this area, so I need to improve this area so that I get the results I'm looking for. But if I'm just looking at the end and saying, geez, I suck at real estate, right? I gotta do something different. I gotta go pay Zillow $1,000. I gotta go pay this person, instead of looking and seeing where am I messing up at.
This is really great.
Yeah.
And just start small. You don't have, you can build on it as you.
Yeah, and I'm a checkbox person, so that's what I really like about that, is I can check that stuff off. You're gonna kill me right
So one of the things that I see a lot with companies is they don't know where their base is. So how did you figure out where your base was in regards to where to set your goals?
So my base would be, like, I closed 18 year one, I closed 22 in last year, and I think I'm right at that number again. But I think I've become a lot stronger salesperson over this year, just because of some of the stuff I've been through on a personal level has made me a better salesperson. And so I think I should be able to get to 30 pretty easily. Well, I don't want that to be easy. Let's stretch. Let's stretch who I am. Let's stretch everything and go for it. And I'm an even number, right? I don't want to do 25. 25 is a good one. Like 36. That's a weird number. Let's go to 40. Let's just push it to 50, and off I went. That's my base. So.
And what do you do when you realize that you set your goals too high?
I continue to push for them,
Okay.
and move through them. Goals. I sometimes think goals aren't really meant to be caught up to. I think they should always be a little bit of a stretch. I think if you're setting yourself up, I'm gonna get 20 sales this year. That's what I'm gonna get. Well, I've gotten that essentially the last 3 years. Is that really a goal at that point, or is that something I should be getting done? And I'm lowering my bar and not stretching. And if I'm not stretching, there's no middle ground, I don't think, in business in general. You're either pushing forward or you're falling back. And I think that's why I want to stretch further. And if I only get 28, great. We'll do 50 next year. What didn't I do well to get to 50? So now I can reach again. And if I hit 50, what do we do to increase that to next year?
So essentially, if you're meeting your goals, you're doing your mom.
Well, for me, yes. Yes. No, true.
No, it's.
But I think for some people, no, that's just my personality style. And I can handle that. I think sometimes you need to, what's your personality style?
Great questions. Any more questions for Cody?
One quick comment. This also helps you focus. Like, you know what you need to do instead of getting in your office and messing around.
Milling around.
Yeah.
Where's somebody to talk to? I need to talk to somebody. Yeah. Clear in the back!
Sometimes when you're in sales and you're an entrepreneur, you don't know how to turn it off.
True.
What do you do to detach?
I don't know. I just don't know how. I mean, I could be at a conversation at a dinner meeting or a dinner with somebody, and you talk about real estate, and I'm like, how many beds, how many baths, where do you want to be, you need two-story good or just ranch? Huh? Do you like split level? Split? You don't like how it's built? What area of town you want to be in? And they're like, whoa, dude, whoa.
So you'd have to be in the woods or something.
Yeah, and even then I'd be like, could I fit a small, tiny house here? Is a tiny house fit? Or like, I wouldn't know how to shut it off. If somebody has the answer, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I think it matters an attitude. If you love what you do, it's not work. So you're
True.
not stressed out. You're not working when you're working because you're enjoying it. I mean, I've been in sales for 30+ years, but I never sold anything. I find friends, find out what they need, and fill the need. And if they don't need what I have, we're still friends. So
And you mark a no off your list.
yeah. So
But it is important to figure out a way to shut it off, just to give your mind some space and some new creativity.
Recharge time.
Yeah.
You gotta recharge
I mean,
batteries.
so many successful people have said that. There's-
And so many entrepreneurs wind up losing things that in the end of life were more valuable than the money that they earned. And that's a tough lesson looking in the rearview mirror.
It is, but looking ahead, I mean, I hear this often, right? It's hard when you're trying to get up and running to
Yes,
say,
it is.
all right, I gotta get my work-life balance so that I've got this right, but it's really hard, I think.
It is very hard.
Especially when you're trying to push through to get
It
moving.
is very hard.
The important thing to remember is, and I don't like the word balance, because I think that has a wrong connotation as far as, oh, I have to have, 12 hours of personal time and 12 hours of work time for a
Yeah.
24-hour day. To me, it's more equilibrium, because it is different, much like personality, what that mix is.
Right.
But it's important to keep in mind that when you do a proper recharge, the amount of production that comes out of you during your on time actually is going to be higher than if you're constantly stretching yourself to try and work 24 hours a day and constantly reduce. Look at and that's where numbers come in. Look at the
Yeah.
numbers. You look at when you add that little bit of recharge time, you're like, wow, I actually doubled my production by working quote unquote less.
And the checkoff sheet allows you to turn it off. I mean, if you're setting goals that stretch you but don't kill you, when you reach that weekly goal, you can be done. And that might not be the way it works for you right now at this time in your business, but if you're kind of doing that too long, you might get a little burnt out.
Right.
When I first got in the business, the insurance business, I worked with a guy, probably the happiest person I've ever known in my life. And his goal was one sale a day. And he didn't care how many appointments he had. If he had 10 appointments, as soon as he wrote one app, he said, the only thing you're gonna see is my taillights on the way out of town. He would write, as soon as he wrote his one sale, he went home. He rescheduled everything for the next day. And he was the happiest person I've ever known.
How long ago was that? I don't wanna date you, but. Cause I asked that question because I would wonder if I could reschedule appointments if somebody wouldn't like, he doesn't have time for me today, and move on to that would, in today's.
He didn't care. He figured I can make a living on one sale a day.
Man.
As soon as I make that sale, I'm
That's
gone.
true.
And I think there's certain holes you can fall into very quickly, especially as an entrepreneur, of always trying to please everybody. Like that statement that you made, that, if I reschedule an appointment, they think that I don't have time for them. I think part of it has to be people realize that time is valuable and that life is not a constant, planned out.
Right.
Everything happens on a schedule. You have to give yourself a little bit of flexibility.
True.
So otherwise, you're just going to kill yourself in the end.
Yes, we are.
On the pages
Yeah.
list, could you dive into what is it that you're
What books?
reading
So,
there?
currently, I'm reading a really good book. I'm reading also Ninja Selling, Crucial Conversations. Are the 3 books I'm reading right now.
They're all kind of focused on developing your skills.
Personal.
And
The
personal
Crucial
development.
Conversations is really just personal level and how to have those tough conversations with people and not resort to silence or violence when you're having a tough conversation with somebody. So, and then Ninja Selling are the 2. So I want to get through those books.
Any other questions for Cody? go, right there, the winner. Annette?
All right, and I really hope that there is $10 on here. If there's not,
What'd
you
you
know where to
say?
find me.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Cody, thank you very
Yes,
much
thank
for
you guys for being here.
speaking and for supplying our donuts today. We want to thank you with a Focus Sweet mug.
This is why I did it.
There you go, we appreciate it, and hope you'll all join us next week. And again, I want to thank our sponsors, Canyon Coffee and Community Development Resources. You don't need to run off. Hang around and visit with one another, exchange cards, and check off those boxes on your contact.
There you go.
Feel welcome to stay here as long as you like. So thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Good, yourself?
Good. How long you gonna be in Midget later?
About a month now. Yeah, no, it's
Well, if it
crazy.
isn't,
Yeah, my new running shoes last night.
Oh, okay.
Custom unload.